Hmm.
Hey guys, a very good morning and good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear. I can hear you at least.
Yeah, I can hear you, Suresh.
Cool. So, any questions so far, guys, from whatever we have discussed in the previous sessions?
I'm good. I have no questions.
So, Suresh, is this going to be the last session in the series? Because the course was supposed to have been for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So, would this be like the last session that you would be taking?
So, I'm gonna pause Python today, Ravi.
Okay.
So, from tomorrow, you'll be joining your respective courses, whatever you have opted for. And the coming weekend, I'm gonna take couple of hours to cover the remaining topics.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No,
because I
because
don't want to skip
yeah, no,
any topic.
I joined. Yeah, no, I joined. I mean, I signed up only for Python. I didn't Python. I didn't sign up for the DevOps or the Azure data engineering courses.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, what happened was, due to some personal reasons, I missed some classes, and I was trying to catch up with the recordings.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I mean, the recordings not, were not available. Uh, I won't say like quickly enough or in time. So
Mhm.
currently, I mean, the class which took, I mean, yesterday's class, I haven't managed to go through the recording yet.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
it
why I was
was
asking that. I
posted
mean,
actually.
yeah, it was posted. Yeah, I mean, today it was posted.
Okay.
But because these last two sessions have been like almost 2 hours long, I have
Hmm.
not been able to catch up quickly enough. So that's why I was asking. I mean, is this going to be the last session, or I mean, there are additional sessions. So that I
No,
could
Ravi.
plan to go through
This is not the
the
last session.
okay. So I could go through the previous sessions and like catch up, and like if I have any questions, will I have a chance to talk to you about it? That's why I was
Definitely
asking.
yes. Definitely yes. So you might not be able to reach out to me directly because
Mhm.
I do have some restrictions. I'm not supposed to. I'm not allowed to share my contact details here. But you can
Okay.
reach out to me anytime through Career IT.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah. All right.
I mean, Ravi is asking this question, but this question could be there in somebody else's minds as well. Okay, it doesn't matter which course you are joining from tomorrow. Okay, or if even though you are not joining any course tomorrow, which is totally fine. Okay, when you are practicing, you're stuck somewhere, or you have any questions to discuss, or you want to talk to me, you can reach out to Career IT guys. Okay, and they'll kind of arrange a call if I'm not able to solve it through chat. Okay, and we can connect and discuss.
Okay.
Okay, but the only expectation what I'm gonna set here is it might take some time to find my slot because weekdays I'll be busy with sessions in the morning, and then right after these sessions I'll have to go to office, right? So weekdays it might not be possible, but weekends definitely I'll find some time and we'll connect with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure, Suresh. Or I could. I mean, I would suggest that maybe after. I mean, after all the classes are done, maybe a
Hmm.
week after that, like you said now, next week. I mean, we will stop here today. In the weekend, you will have additional classes. Maybe a
Yeah,
week after that, you can set up like just one session and be like, okay, however, I mean, just a follow up. How are things? I mean, have people practiced? If they have any questions, if they tried something out, didn't understand it, would they like to discuss some? I mean, just a standalone session. It's just a suggestion. I'm not like asking
No, that's a good suggestion,
specifically
Ravi.
for it.
That's a good suggestion, actually. Let me see if I can do that. I cannot commit anything at this point because
Okay.
generally we don't do any follow-up from our side, and we expect students to
Okay.
come back to us with any questions if they
Okay.
have. Okay.
Hmm.
But let me see if I can do this too.
Yeah. Sure,
There is
Suresh.
no harm, but this is a good suggestion. Thank you, Ravi.
Okay. No problem, Suresh.
Yeah. So, guys, I know today is our last session. Okay. People who might not have joined yesterday's session didn't get a chance to go through yesterday's recording. So I have given all the necessary instructions what is going to be the next sessions look like. So starting tomorrow, we will start with data engineering. At least people who are sticking to data engineering, I'll be the trainer, and the people who wanted to go with the DevOps or any other courses, I'm not sure who will be the trainers. Okay. But like I was mentioning, there are still couple of hours of Python sessions left. Okay. So I should be blaming myself for giving 3 weeks of estimate, based on my past experience. But you know how our sessions went, a lot of discussions and then a lot of questions. I mean, that is expected when we have a bigger number of people. But I should have taken that as well into consideration. Okay, which is still fine, but I don't want to skip any topics. I don't want to skip any sessions. I have tried my best to cover most of them during the weekend, and I'll continue doing that in the coming weekend as well. Okay, and I'll make sure I have covered everything that's been there in the curriculum that is shared with you. Okay, so you will be informed on the timings. Probably next couple of days. It would be the same timing, guys, 6:30 to 7:30, right? And maybe I don't know about which link you should be joining. I'll let Career IT folks take care of those logistics. Okay, but you'll be prayer informed about the weekend sessions, link, time, etc. Okay, and then I'll be covering all the topics during the weekend. Okay, but today I'm gonna stop Python in our regular sessions, and we'll be moving on with data engineering from tomorrow. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Suresh. That
Yes.
makes sense.
Okay, cool. So let's get started, guys. Today I'm gonna cover Python strings, which you already know. Most of the things which you have already been doing, but I just want to introduce a different direction into strings, which we haven't done so far in our sessions. Okay, so I'm creating a string here. Name is equals to Python. Like you already know, any string can be created with a single quote or a double quote. I mean, any group of characters or numbers or whatever it is, right, which is enclosed in a single quote or a double quote, we consider it as a string, right? Now here I'm creating this first variable name is equals to Python, and then I'm printing it. I'm also printing the type for the same Python and then string. You're seeing it over here. And in Python, we don't have a character data type, guys, a data type for a character. Whereas in other programming languages, you have something called as char, which is storing a single character from a string. Okay, but in Python, we don't have any such char data type. Even though you try to create, it will be read as a string, but with one character. Okay, and the new direction, what I'm giving you here for a string is indexes. So string is just like any list because this is also a sequence data type. Okay, so your string is ordered, and then you'll be able to uh, access the individual characters in a string using indexes. Okay, and then your string is iterable. You can iterate through all the characters using a for loop. Okay, so string is mutable, where you can change your string whatever characters you want to add, you can add using, there are a lot of functions. Okay. So that is something which I want you to know. Say for example, name is Python, right? Name of 0 would give you first character, which is P, and the name of 1 would give you the second character, which is Y. Name of 2 would give you third character, which is T. Okay. And then name of -1, it also supports negative indexing. Name of -1 would give you the last character, which is N. And then maybe you want to get last but one character, -2, you'll get O. Okay. So the whole point of this is to tell you Python, I mean, individual characters in a string can be accessed using indices. Okay. And then maybe you want to create a substring, you can also do that using this colon operator, just like you did in your list. Okay. So name of 2 colon, if you didn't specify any lower limit, it will take till the end, starting from index 2. Okay. So index 2 is T, and then from T till N, THON. Okay. Maybe if you give 2 to 5, it will take 2 to 5, THO. And then if you don't give anything here, it will consider it as 0. You will get P by THO. Likewise. Okay. So colon operator is supported, using which you can actually get the substrings. Okay. And then like for any other collection, string also supports length function, using which you can get the length of characters you have in that string. So in the case of Python, it is 6. And then I'm iterating through this string using a for loop. These are all the functions which you already know. Okay. So P, Y, T, H, O, N, 6 iterations. This loop has been iterated 6 times. Okay. Let me take a pause. Are we good so far?
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
Manish.
Okay. Now moving on, this is also something which you already know, multi-line string. Okay, but just a recap, because I wanted to cover all the concepts related to string here at one place. Okay, so you cannot create a multi-line string like this, guys. It will throw an error. The reason being, whenever you are pressing enter in your keyboard, um, you know, it might not be visible here, but there will be a backslash and character. We call it as next line character in the backend. Okay. And whenever a backslash and character is encountered before the closing of the string, it will throw an error. Okay. So it clearly states unterminated string literal, meaning without terminating this string, it has encountered backslash and character, which is next line character. Okay. So there are a couple of ways to mitigate the same. One is by using triple quotes. So you use triple quotes. Now, when you are using triple quotes, it will bypass this backslash and character. It will bypass this backslash and character, and it will consider the string distributed into multiple lines till the end of the um, triple quotes. Okay, so it could be triple double quotes or it could be triple single quotes. Both are same. Okay. Now this is colon operator, and there is an alternate as well using this escape sequence character. So this backslash is what we call as escape sequence character. So meaning it will skip the next word, I mean next character, and then the next characters would be continued. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating the same string with double quotes, but what I'm doing is at the end of every line I'm giving this escape sequence character, which is backward slash. Since it is skipping that backslash and character, you'll see this entire message in one line. Okay, but I'm not a huge fan of using single quotes, guys, because I can give you typical examples. Sometimes you might end up reading, 10 line string, 20 line string into a variable, string variable. Okay, so you cannot go and give backslash for all the 20 lines. Okay, especially into data engineering area, right? You will end up passing a SQL query as a parameter to a function. Okay, so that SQL query can have only one line or it can have 100 lines too. Okay, so 100 line SQL query, you'll not be able to give 100 backslashes for every line you write there, correct? So I generally don't prefer using backslash characters. Instead, I would always prefer triple single quotes or triple double quotes because I don't really have to worry about all these backslash that are needed. Okay. Now, a few important string functions I'm gonna cover, but there are a lot of other string functions too. Okay. Now, first name is equals to first name. I'm just giving Suresh, and then last name is equals to JNV. I'm just giving last name, and then I'm using a concatenation operator over here. First name plus last name, which would concat both first name and last name variables, and you'll see something like this, Suresh JNV. Okay. And here I'm creating a new variable, but you can also modify the existing variable too, where first name is equals to first name plus last name. Okay, kind of an append operation, right? And then maybe you want to give some space in between first name and last name. This is how you can do it. First name and then space and then last name. Here space I have hard coded, but you can also create a variable for space. Something like this. So here in the next example, I have created a variable for space saying that it's a white space, then first name plus white space plus last name. Okay. And then this is about concatenation operator, and then into operator, it will just multiply your string. Okay. So string Suresh, Suresh, Suresh 3 times since I have given 3. And then these are the functions which you pretty much know. Dot lower will convert it to lowercase, all the upper cases to lowercase, and then dot upper, it will convert all the upper cases to lowercase, sorry, lower cases to uppercase. And then is numeric. This is another interesting function. Okay. So basically this is numeric would return true if a number is stored in a string variable. Okay. So right, a number can be stored in a string variable. Okay. So whenever that happens, this is numeric will return true. In welcome string, everything is string. There is no number. So it will just print false. And then here I'm creating a string variable and storing an integer value. Age is equals to 10. Age is a string variable, and then this value is a number value, which is an integer. Okay. Now here I'm just typing type of age just to show you it's a string. And then when I do is numeric, it would return true. Okay. Let me take a pause. Are we good so far?
So in that string, you are saying if it is a number variable, but
Mhm.
if that does that number become an integer or just a numeric string is also okay.
It's still a numeric string.
I mean, it is okay. I mean, still confused here. So if you give like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it might be by default it takes as a string, right?
Because it is enclosed in single quotes. If you
Single
didn't
quote.
give those single quotes, then
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Satya. So basically, whenever you are creating these variables, right, there are two different ways. One
Yeah.
is you creating yourself as a developer. Second, they being written by some function. Okay,
Yeah.
when you are creating it as a developer, you wouldn't give single quotes here because it's an integer value, and why would
Yeah.
you want to create it as a string, correct?
Yes.
But there are functions like input. Input is one such function where you
Yeah.
don't have control as a developer. You will always get a string value as an output. No matter whether you are giving an integer or whether you are giving a float, it doesn't really matter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that is one you can actually check whether the value is, say, for example, you are reading some value from the user, I mean keyboard, and then maybe you want to do some arithmetic operation. Okay, so
Mm,
for doing that arithmetic operation, you'll have to typecast it, correct?
yes.
Okay, so before typecasting, you can actually do a check. Okay, so
Okay.
if it is
Mm,
only numeric, then typecast it to int, else leave it as is. And then you can come out of the control, come out of the uh, that condition, that whatever the
yes.
condition you are checking. Okay, so that your
So,
code won't throw an error.
so unless there is no other alpha character, it can be, I mean,
Hmm.
giving as an output as numeric as yes. True.
Yes. So
Okay.
for example, here I'm adding another character A. Now when I run this, it will give false.
False. Even though it is given in double quotes or single quotes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, only if it is an int, it will do this. Okay.
Sure. Thank
No problem. And then we have this replace function. I'm just printing welcome message. Hello all, welcome to Python training big data. Okay. And then I'm replacing hello with hi. So this replace function would take couple of parameters, guys, which is the first argument is word to be replaced, and second argument is what to replace with. Okay. So if I run this, it will replace hello with hi. Okay. Now the next one is split function, which we use every now and then. Okay, so this is something which I have already covered in list, but just let's refresh. Okay, here I have a comma separated string, which is having ID, name, and then department, then college. Okay, now if I split using the delimiter comma, like I said, delimiter can be anything. Split needs a delimiter value. Delimiter in this case is comma, but it can be a tab space, it can be a white space, or it can be a semicolon, or it can be a pipe. Okay, so it can be anything, guys. In our case, it's comma. I'm just splitting it using comma, and then what I get is a list. Okay. Now student values of 3 will give you the last value, which is the college. Student value of 0 will give you the ID. Okay. Now I'm gonna use these 4 variables. I mean the 4 attributes we have here: ID, name, college, and then department, and then college. And I'm gonna show you how you can format your strings. There are 3 different ways of doing the same. Okay. Now ID is equals to student values of 0. I'm just reading the independent attributes from a list to a variable. Okay, student values of 0 is ID, student values of 1 is name, and then student values of 2 is department, and then student values of 3 is college. Okay, now there are 3 different ways of formatting a string. Now what I'm going to do is the first way I'm going to use concatenation operator. A student bearing roll number, here ends the string, and then this ID I am reading it from the variable. Okay, and then I'm hard coding again with name, and this name I'm reading from a variable using a concatenation operator. And then department I'm hard coding, and then department value I'm reading it from the variable. Okay, of college is again a hard coded value, and then this college is a variable which I'm reading from a variable. Okay, when you want to mix match a string, a hard-coded string with a variable, this is how you can do it using concatenation operator. There is nothing fancy over here. What I'm doing is just using a concatenation operator, whatever we have learned earlier. There I have used only 2 variables. Here it is more variables and more hard-coded strings. Okay, but again, I'm not a big fan of this approach. And for formatting any string, I usually prefer the second approach, the easiest one. These are what we call as F strings. F stands for format. Okay. So the beauty of this is you don't have to use a lot of double quotes. You don't have to use a lot of concatenation operators. Instead, you can do this: a student bearing roll number, and then whatever you want to read from a variable, you give it in curly braces with name, and then this name value I'm reading from the variable. Department, again this department value I'm reading from a variable. Of college, and then this college value I'm reading from a variable. Okay, so this is the second way of formatting the same string. The output for both the strings will be same. Okay, and the third approach is using format function. So what we'll do is we'll write our string with some placeholders using curly braces. So this is a placeholder here, curly brace, and then this is a curly brace, another placeholder, again a curly brace, another placeholder, and then curly brace, another placeholder. And then we use this format function, and we'll give the positional arguments. Okay, so the first argument, whatever you are passing to this format function, will be replaced in the first curly brace. And then the second argument will replace in the second curly brace, and then third argument in the third curly brace, fourth argument in the fourth curly brace. Okay, so these are the 3 different ways using which you can format your strings. When I run this, if you see, all the 3 have given you the same output. Okay, let me take a pause.
Suresh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there any advantage of one than the other, like memory or the CPU utilization, anything like that?
Mm, honestly, I don't know, Srinath.
Okay.
Okay. So I use the second one
Yeah.
usually
Got it.
because for the ease of use.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more question, if you go a little up, it when you did the type, it showed as a list, right? When you removed the
Yes.
commas. How did it become list there?
Because of the split function.
Okay.
Okay. This split function returns a list.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. But I'll get back to you on that. Maybe if there is any difference in performance. Honestly, I don't think there will be any difference, at least the noticeable difference. The reason being, you know, if there is such difference, definitely this would be included in best practices.
Yeah. Right.
Saying that, either this should be used or that should be used, but that never happened, at
Okay.
least in my case. So at least I'm trying to understand. Here we are doing a concatenation operation. Here also we are using a function using format. Okay. But at least with naked eye, what I could infer is this could be little expensive because we are doing concatenation multiple times.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I just want to check with you.
No, this is purely my guess, Srinath. Say, for example, if you are asking me the same question in interview, this is how I would say, let me take a guess, right? But I don't know
Yeah.
the exact answer because these things were never listed in best practices of Python. Formatting a string that doesn't really care
Yeah.
what approach we are taking. But let me note this question and then I'll get back.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
So this format, whatever you're using in the third option,
Mhm.
can it be like, can we use F there?
No, you can't.
Okay. And in this, like you said, the second option is safest one.
Not safest, easiest one.
Easiest, because now first one is tedious.
Yes.
Third one is like you need to check how many parameters you have given, and the samely you have to give pass those values in the format.
Correct.
That is the reason. That's a double check you need to do.
Correct.
The second one is directly your handwriting.
Correct.
Suresh, in the second option, the text item contains curly braces. How that can be taken?
I didn't get your question, Kasi.
So for example, student hearing something like if the text itself having the curly braces item. So
Here I have
in that
given F,
case-
right? This is doing that magic.
Right, but
So
the curly braces, within curly braces, it identifies as a parameter, right? So
yes, kind of a
so for
parameter.
example, if you put like curly brace after hearing, what it comes?
Sorry?
Just one curly brace.
I think Suresh is asking if
Yes,
the
this
parameter
one.
that is being forwarded, if it has a curly brace in it, like instead of ID, if the value was ID within curly braces, what would happen?
You mean to say like this?
No, I mean
So
the
my
ID is
question
within curly braces, but the
Mhm.
ID itself, there's another set of curly braces in it. So
I mean,
how do I mention?
in a bash, like we have escape character, right? Like
Here also you have escape character, escape sequence character. So you mean to say ID is equals to
Yeah, like that.
1001?
yeah.
This is how you get it. Because you have already given an escape sequence character here.
I see. Okay, got it.
Okay. I see what you're asking, and that would happen with double quote.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the next concept. If you see, I want to print something like this. I'm taking Python course in CIT. Okay. And when you do this, it won't work. It will throw an error because you have actually closed your string and no, you haven't used any append operator or anything like that, right? So here you can use this escape sequence character. So backslash character is escape sequence character, guys. Okay, so since this double quote is indicating the end of this string, which is not the case, right? You will have to skip that character, which can be done by this escape sequence. And when you do this, you will be able to read this as a string. I'm taking Python course in CIT with double quotes. Make sense?
In the top line, that line number 39, right? Until it should take at least, I am taking Python course in that double quote CAT. Until there also
It won't.
take?
It won't. It's a syntactical error, right? So error clearly states it's a syntactical error because even Python have some syntax and semantics for it to understand what we are trying to do. Okay. So one line, only one instruction. You cannot give multiple instructions. You cannot create multiple variables. I mean, there is a way to do that, but you cannot create as if as you want. So for example, a equals to 10, and then you can't do b equals to 10 as well here. Maybe b equals to 20. That's not how it works. It won't be able to understand. Okay, it expects only one line in one, one statement in one line. Make sense?
So in one line, if I want to define 2, then how do I look? Like a is equal to, like, you showed that example. How can I do that? Like if I want,
There are multiple ways. A comma b is equals to 10 comma 20. Something like this.
Okay, like this.
Okay. Cool. Now here I'm showing the usage of same backslash n characters. Okay, so this is backslash n, which is next line, which I have given, and you see them in 2 lines. And then let's say if I'm adding a escape sequence character over here, you're seeing everything in the same line. So basically, the functionality of this backslash n is suppressed by this escape sequence character. That's the reason you're seeing everything in the same line. And then same here, tab space. So without backslash character, you will see a tab space over here. Maybe you want to suppress that behavior, add a escape sequence character, and you will, you'll not see that what you call behavior. Okay, so that is where this backslash characters are needed, guys.
In the line number 43, if you remove 1 slash before n, what will it will do? It will write in new line.
Yes. It is writing in new line. Okay. If I add it here, it will suppress that behavior. Everything will be written in the same line.
Suresh, which is the best approach? Like giving a backslash for CIT is the best approach, or giving double quotes is the best approach?
So whatever you're comfortable with. Generally, like I said, right, I'm always a huge fan of using triple quotes, which makes my life easy. Because I don't really need to worry about what other special characters are there and
So
what
you can
functionality
give
I need to suppress.
multiple instructions or only one single instruction, even if you use triple quotes like CIT and other thing like institute of in quotes, if you give it to
Even here, you will not be able to give any more characters.
I mean, in institute, if you put in the double quote, will it work?
Institute also in double quote, yes, it will. Because in CIT, if it is working, in this double, okay, because it's the end, you're thinking about this, right?
Yeah. Okay. So like we can give multiple instructions if we use just triple quote.
Yes, you can. It's not multiple instructions, but you're actually doing it multiple times. So it doesn't matter you have 10 double quotes or any other special characters.
Okay.
Yeah, everything will be taken care if you put
yes,
triple quotes.
Okay. Now moving on, one last function. This is applicable for list as well. This is from one of the questions asked in an interview. Okay. A slice function. Any idea, guys, what exactly slice function does?
No idea. Slice.
Okay, let me explain.
Split.
It's not kind of split, but it will help you to pick few elements from a string or a list. Okay, based on step. Okay, so here slice function would expect 3 parameters, guys. First one is start index, second one is end index, and the third one is step. Okay, now what it will do is it will start from P, it will take P. Now step is 1, right? It will skip Y and it will take T, and then it will skip H, it will take O, it will skip N, it will take AS. Yes. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Skip is 1, step is 1, right? In step 1, you'll get everything. Has to be step 2. PTOS, you see? Okay. Step 1 is nothing but your actual string. Okay. Step is the next character, which it is picking. And the step is 2, then Python, it will skip Y, and then it will take the second one, the second character. And then once it picked T, it will skip the first one and it will take the second one. And then it will skip N and it will take yes. Okay, so the same thing is applicable for a list as well. I'll show you shortly, but here now I'm just doing it for Mississippi. One moment.
That 0 to 7 is the length of the string. Like I can give like 0
You can
to 8
give
also.
you can give anything.
Anything. Okay.
One moment. You're saying 0 to 8.
Yeah.
There you go.
So end
Okay.
doesn't matter. Just only these.
No, and does matter. If you give 4, it will go up to 4 only. So you are getting only P and T. Okay.
4, okay.
Now this example will make more sense. So here I have Mississippi. Okay. And I'm gonna slice it with start index 0, end index 5, and then step 2. Can you guess the output, guys?
MSI.
Yeah, MSI.
MSI. Okay. Now I'm gonna give
No, I.
10. And then maybe I'll give 4 now.
M 4 is
I.
4.
MII.
MP.
No,
S.
MIP.
So first things first, we'll check the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It will go up till end. Okay. Now you are skipping 4 values. 0.
It will print M.
So it will print M, and then these 3 will be skipped, ISS, and then it will take the fourth one.
Right.
So MI, and then SSI will be skipped, and then it will pick the fourth one P. So it's going to be MIP. Okay. Maybe I'll give 3 here now.
MSSII.
MSSII. Let's see.
Right.
MSP.
Oh, 3.
Okay. It took
Third
M.
one it will.
Yeah. IS is skipped. Yes. IS is skipped. Yes. And then IP is P. Okay. So that's how it works, guys. Okay. Generally, in an interview, they'll ask you that they won't directly ask you what is slice function, but they'll give a list and they'll ask you to pick all the alternate values or all the third values, and this is how you can do it. So when I was asked in an interview, I don't know about this slice function. Okay, so I have actually written a logic to do that, implementing a counter. Okay. Now the same is applicable for a list as well, PyString, and then we have PYTHON, 7 characters, 0, 6, 2. you'll get the same output, but the output is a list again with PTO. Whereas here, the output is a string again. Okay, let me take a pause. Are we good?
Yes.
Everyone?
Suresh, if we are not sure about end, can we give -1?
Like this?
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, there is another thing too. When you are not sure about this thing, right? Length of string also you can do.
Yeah.
Are we good, Sai?
Yes, Suresh. Good. Thank you.
Yeah. Are we good, everyone?
Yeah, Suresh, I have a question. You said,
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
the end function, I mean, you mentioned the -1, right?
Mhm.
So how it will make it direction? Like, I mean, if you put -1, how it go direction? Is it forward or backward? We know that the
It-
step function is okay, but end function makes it direction or something?
Because these arguments doesn't really have to do anything with direction. It's all about what is my start index, what is my end index. Okay, so when you give -1, it will interpret, this is my last element. Okay, but however the slice function is working when you give positive indexes doesn't change with negative indexing. I know where you are coming from. So basically, when you want to iterate through a list in a reverse direction, especially in other programming languages like Java and C, we do that minus operator or minus operation. We'll start with the highest value and then we keep doing that minus operation, right? But here the functionality won't change because it's just the end number. Whether you are giving 7 -1, it will just try to understand, what that value is in the list.
Got it. You got it. So basically, a slice function is forward direction.
Yeah.
We think, yeah, no
Yes.
backward.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
even though you have given -1, you got PTO only, right? It's not OTP.
So instead, can we start with -1 instead of 0? Will it be in a reverse direction?
-1. And then end you are saying 0.
Yeah.
You see what happened?
We didn't give anything.
Yeah, because after -1, there is nothing in the string. Okay.
So in that case, you would have to give -1 and -7 or something like that, right? If you're going in the reverse direction.
You got your
So
answer?
forward.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Say index. Say index.
Yeah. At least, I mean, this is how I try and check what's happening. Okay. Cool. So again, we still have 15 more minutes, guys. I'm gonna spend however you want. Okay. I'm not gonna start any new topic today because I don't want to break it in between and then keep you waiting for 1 week and then continue it. So any
I
questions
have
we have? Yeah.
yeah, Suresh, I have a question. So if it is a list, I know you can pull a particular value using pop. Can you do that with a string?
I know a way how to do it, but I'm just checking.
C++.
Okay, it's all showing list. Let's try it out. There is no
I
harm.
think it only works for list, I guess.
Yeah, even I am having the same idea, but I just thought, I mean, have you, I guess, just trying to reduce my effort.
that's
and
okay.
Yeah.
Name. We currently have Ramesh. Basically, these are all the functions. This is another advantage of using any IDE. I'm just checking if there is any such thing called pop. No.
Yeah, no. Okay.
No.
Yeah, has no attribute pop. Okay, that answers my question.
So name. You want to remove the last value, right? There you go. And maybe you want to remove a particular value. Let's say name. Right now is Ramesh. And then maybe I want to remove E. Like this, something like this.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense, Suresh.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
what is the previous used the square brackets and you did,
This
right?
one.
What? Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? If you don't have, let me ask you a question. How many of you are excited for tomorrow's data engineering session?
Yeah, we are all excited. I am excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
I think I don't know, yesterday or day before yesterday, we were having some funny conversation regarding data engineering session, you know, where we were talking about certification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I missed two classes.
Okay.
I was there.
Yeah. So certification will be done, guys. Don't worry. Okay. I'll make sure every one of you clear certifications. Okay. I cannot guarantee whether you learn and do it or you do it following some cheats. Okay. But you'll have a certificate.
Yes, I prefer learning.
I do.
No, we prefer learning and getting it. Yeah. With
But
learning only. Yeah.
I'll tell you a catch here. Okay. So Azure data engineering certification, right? The code is DP203. Okay. The other day I was showing this. DP203 is the code. Okay. And the content for the same is very, very, very exhaustive because these guy covers because the intent of certification, right? You know, he wanted to show there are more developers who can develop applications using Azure services. Okay. So he always pushes to use all the services he have created. Okay. I can give you some examples. You know, you have Azure Synapse Analytics, you have Azure Data Factory, you have Azure SQL. Azure SQL is not for big data purpose though. I'll keep it aside for now. Databricks, and then we have Cosmos DB, we have Streaming Analytics, we have Event Hub. Okay, so a lot of services. But do we use all of them in our day-to-day activities? Answer is no. Okay, so how many of you know Databricks alone can fetch you a job into data engineering?
I know.
Okay, so if you don't believe me, just right after this session, you should be having some job portals, right? You can go and search for Azure data engineering job descriptions. Okay, I can 100% guarantee you 95% of the projects will have Databricks as a requirement. If you don't see that keyword Databricks, they will at least specify PySpark. Okay, I would say 95%. And then Data Factory. And then Data Factory, the second important component or second most used component in Azure Stack is Data Factory. Okay, so Data Factory is also similar to Databricks. When I say similar to, I'm not talking about the way it works, but the functionality, whatever you are trying to achieve using PySpark, Databricks, you can also do that using Data Factory. But there are few minor operations where Data Factory scales good. Okay, but will we use only Data Factory alone? Answer is no. Okay, so the funniest part is everybody wants fancy architecture. Okay, nobody wants to see a presentation having only Databricks on the deck. Okay, so people want to use all the fancy tools. Okay, so you will, I'll tell you what, in the last session, you are definitely going to ask me this question. Was, you have taught us Synapse Analytics, you have taught us Databricks, you have taught us Data Factory, and we were able to do whatever you taught using all the three services. So where we will be using all the three services and what purpose? Okay, so that's going to be a very interesting conversation. But before I deviate there, yeah, the other tools like Event Hub, Cosmos DB, and then streaming analytics, which will not be learning in our course. Okay, there will be few other data warehousing concepts which will not be learning. Okay, so you will get questions on those topics as well in your interviews. Okay, so what I would recommend is after going through my course and after going through whatever the content you see on my page, whatever I have taught, okay, so I would give you a link using which you can practice questions. You'll have some 150 to 200 odd questions. Okay, practice them and then take the exam. I'm pretty sure you'll pass with 90% minimum. Okay, so you learn whatever is needed and then you practice from that website or the link which I'm going to share for the things which you haven't learned, which is not needed. Make sense?
Okay. Just this is for the certification you are telling, or for the project to get into a project interview you are telling?
It's
The
both.
Cosmos
It's
for
both.
It's both. You can open the job portal. I'm not lying. Just search
yeah,
with
I have
Cosmos
seen.
DB, and then you see the openings. How many you have on Cosmos DB?
Yeah.
Okay, and also there is nothing wrong in learning, guys. I might not be able to cover Cosmos DB here as a part of this course, but let's say after you have gained enough knowledge on all these cloud services, understood how we build pipelines, what we do as a part of our day-to-day activities, right? You can spend some time and learn Cosmos DB if needed. Okay, but I don't see a need for learning it. Okay,
Unless
right
for
now I'm in an
certification.
architect role, except for certification.
Yeah.
Okay, or maybe you want to add one additional tool in your resume. Okay, so I'm currently, my role is an architect role, guys. When I say currently, it's been 3 years I have stepped into that role. Okay, so I work with multiple projects. I don't work in a single project. Okay, I work with multiple projects, and I have seen people developing multiple projects. I'm a part of the data engineering community as well in Hyderabad. We keep meeting at least once in a quarter and then discuss about what's happening, what's new is coming. And then Microsoft have promoted a lot about Fabric. Okay, so show me a single client who
Recently
is using
Fabric has
Fabric.
been a topic of the town.
Yeah, show me a single client who is using Fabric.
Not right now, but maybe in 5 to 10, maybe in 5 years it will pick up.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what your name is. It's showing Triveni. Okay, but I'll tell you what will happen. Okay, so there should be some uniqueness in Fabric. Okay, for any industry to replace their existing pipelines with a new technology, there should be some uniqueness which should save either cost or time. Okay, and most of the time people won't look at time parameter until and unless they're dealing with real-time streaming applications. When we are running a batch process which is scheduled, say for example you are doing a quarterly analysis and your analysis would be used in decision making once in a quarter. Okay, so what do you do? Running all the analysis in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Does doesn't 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 1 hour, it doesn't matter until and unless it's a real-time streaming application. Okay, so performance also not a key decision parameter until and unless you want to show off saying, "Key boss, you know, I'm running this in 2 seconds or I'm running this in 10 seconds." Okay, so I mean, this is a very interesting discussion. Again, everybody will have their own personal opinions, but you know, sometimes what happens is even for, I mean, in order to complete a project, let's say you just need pandas data frame. Okay, and then you'll be able to do all the operations and complete the project with a minimum budget. But let me tell you, clients doesn't like it. They all want to see is, you know, huge data pipeline. They want to ingest data using Data Factory, and then they want to run some PySpark code, and then, you know, push data to Synapse Analytics. Synapse Analytics is not a good fit a good fit for reporting. So sometimes what they'll do is from Synapse Analytics they'll send data back to Azure SQL, which is a relational database, and from there they do the reporting. Okay, so instead of building this huge pipeline for a few GBs of data, 1 GB, 2 GB, or maximum 10 GB. Okay, so instead of doing all these things, they could have simply used Azure SQL and have written stored procedures to get the thing done. Okay, maybe if they don't want some database to do the processing, they can still do it using a normal Python code, not a distributed Python code. They can read the data into a data frame, do all the transformations, whatever is required, and then use a database connector to Azure SQL. If not Azure SQL, any database. Okay, so but if you give this solution to your client, he doesn't like it. Okay, so let's see.
So, what is the basic knowledge do we need to know to start class from tomorrow on data engineering?
If you are having some SQL background or ETL background, that would be really, really helpful. Okay.
So do you need any Azure cloud experience?
Not needed. Not needed.
So are you comparing this Azure data engineering with AWS data engineering?
So for me, right, cloud doesn't really matter, Triveni.
Okay.
Okay, because you will find analogous tools in or analogous services in every tool, sorry, in every cloud. So for example, we are talking about Databricks. Databricks is there everywhere. You have, because it's a platform as a service. Okay, so you have it in Azure, you have it in AWS, you have it in GCP as well. And then, say for example, we have ADF in Azure Data Factory. And, you know, you have something called as Data Fusion in GCP. Okay, likewise here we have Synapse Analytics, you have Redshift in AWS. Likewise, you have BigQuery in GCP. Okay, and then when we talk about what you call Data Factory alternative, we have something called as Glue. And then when you talk about Q, in Azure, you have Event Hub. In GCP, it is PubSub. In Amazon, it is Kinesis, AWS. Okay, so the functionality of all these services are pretty much the same. Okay, so all you'll have to do is adjust yourself with UI changes and then maybe few architectural changes here and there. Okay, for me, right, data engineering, though you agree or not, it's not about services. It's all about SQL and Python. You know these two things and you know basic data operations, you know data, how to handle the data. All these services doesn't really matter.
Got it.
Make sense?
Thanks, Suresh. Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. I have the
Okay.
same question actually.
Yeah, I'll tell you a simple example, guys. Maybe you have to do some kind of a data modeling and then create a star schema. Okay. So there the expectation would be you should know what fact tables are, you should know what dimension tables are, and then you should know how many types of dimension tables we have, what is type 1 dimension, type 2 dimension, type 0 dimension, right? Let's say you don't know all these things and you have learned Databricks, you have learned Data Factory, you go for an interview, or maybe you manage to clear the interview as well. When you get into the real-time project, you will get a requirement asking you to implement type 3 dimension model for one of your dimensions and then do ETL load, incremental ETL load on a daily basis. Okay, when you don't know what an ETL load is, you don't know what an incremental load is, different types of managing incremental load, knowing Databricks, how would it help you? Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So in my course, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up both these things. I teach Databricks concepts using these solutions. So we'll do that ETL solutioning, we'll do that some MDM solutioning, and then we create these SHIR, self-hosted integration runtimes, to pull data from RDBMS to Azure. When I say RDBMS, on-premise RDBMS, or maybe some on-device folder to ADLS. Okay, and then we'll push data to Data Factory for reporting purpose. Sorry, push data to Synapse for some reporting purpose. Okay, I'm also going to show you how to connect your Power BI with Synapse Analytics. I'll not be teaching you Power BI though, but I'll be showing just connection. Okay. So I'll try my best to cover most of the scenarios which we come across on a daily basis, guys. But 2 months is too short to cover everything. All I have learned in 10 years. Okay, but I'll try to cover as much as I can, which will help you to clear your interviews and get starting with data engineering. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So usually you're telling like 2 months is not sufficient, right? Like usually if you take if you give only Azure data training, like you teach more, or like it will take more time to
It's only
complete
2
it?
months. It's only 2
months.
months.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, people doesn't have patience to attend sessions for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Forget about patience. They don't have time, firstly.
Yeah.
Okay. So
but for
I
a
don't.
fresher, like after completing masters, for a fresher to get into, at least to get into that resume, like if we know these Azure Data Factory, ETL concepts, and Databricks, so will that help, or he has to learn even that Cosmos, the other topics which
Not really needed. Not really needed.
Okay.
I can challenge you, just with the Databricks knowledge, you should be able to clear interviews.
Okay.
And that's my observation, guys. I mean, at least I have dealt with more than 40 to 50 projects in last 5-6 years. Okay, because I don't develop end-to-end solution. I will monitor them, being an architect. Okay, I create the solution, but I don't do the coding. Okay, so I'll check with, I'll get it done with my teams, monitoring them, making sure that they're following all the policies, and then good standards, coding standards, and other things. I generally don't get into this. I used to do that 4-5 years ago. Okay, cool. We'll catch up tomorrow. I have one more session now.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, cool. No worries. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Good day.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, Suresh.
Thank you.
Is anyone in the call? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Okay, just wanted to check if anyone is still in the call, in the meeting.
Sorry. I missed the information. Is the class is continuing again?
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what I was checking, if the trainer is still on the call.
Yeah, I think Suresh Gar is on the call. I'm
Okay.
able to see his name.
Yes.
Is that break or is the class is done? I can't get it.
I think the class is over.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.